what's up? It's Joe Raiti from Raiti's Rides. We are here at the home location of Raiti's Rides. This is where all the behind the scenes planning and routing of trips and all the editing takes place. But for today, what we're bringing you is something truly energizing from Porsche. What the heck is it? It's this all new, most powerful Porsche of all time, known as the Porsche Taycan Turbo GT. What they're saying is that they've upped the ante in horsepower and they've upped the ante in Porsche performance. So without further ado, let's dive in and find out, is this the best four-door performance car available for your money? If you're going the electrified route, let's go ahead, dive in, and check it out. And here we go. So this was actually footage that was specially sent to me by the folks over at Porsche. Headquarters for Porsche is actually located, the North American headquarters is located in Atlanta, Georgia. And of course they have their Porsche Performance Center there. Now what's great about having it at this location is that they really have changed the layout of their track. And guess what? None other than Jörg Bergmeister, multi 24-hour race winner with the Rolex 24, 12 hours of Sebring, and everything in between, is behind the wheel piloting this all-new Taycan Turbo GT. So what do we got going on here? So you're going to see a Taycan with a different appearance to it. Is it drastic? No, but that's what Porsche is known for. I mean, think about the 911, how it truly has evolved since 1963 being unveiled. Same thing with the Taycan. And speaking of unveiled, the first time we ever saw a Taycan was back in 2015, but it wasn't called a Taycan. It was called the Mission E concept. Now that was in 2015. By 2019, that's where we see the first production year of the Taycan. And what blew many people away was that it looked pretty much identical to the Mission E concept. Now, with this Taycan Turbo GT, this is an all-new trim. And like I said, it brings performance to a new level. What you're seeing in the video is, of course, what's known as the Weissach Taycan Turbo GT. Now, what's fascinating is normally the Weissach, when you hear that name, it refers to a package. When it comes to the Taycan Turbo GT, there'll be a Turbo GT and there'll be a Weissach, Turbo GT Weissach. They don't call it the package. Now, what you're seeing in the video in action right now is where the car broke the record for the fastest EV around Laguna Seca. So that is the mighty Laguna Seca. So many great years of racing that has happened there. And of course, the iconic corkscrew, same thing. They took the Turbo GT and they broke the lap record. Now, let's talk about this Weissach thing a little bit more. Weissach is the test track over in Germany where they do all of their race cars and road car testing. It's their own private facility. In the past, you order a package known as the Weissach package that gives you lighter, body parts of the car, lighter wheels. They take things out of the vehicle. With this Turbo GT Weissach, guess what? Even though it has 4 doors, you're only getting 2 seats. Now, if you get a standard Turbo GT, Taycan Turbo GT, you're going to have your full 4-seat capacity. But if you want to push it to the limits, which I know a lot of Porsche fans do, this Weissach takes it to the next level where it actually removes the rear seats, sound deadening, then you're looking at the thinner side glass, all of that kind of good stuff to help lighten the vehicle, which it is about 157 pounds lighter than your Turbo GT. Now, what the heck is powering it? Whether you go Turbo GT or you go Weissach, Turbo GT Weissach, you're looking at 2 electric motors producing 1,092 horsepower. That is unheard of for a production Porsche 911. So most powerful Porsche 911, 988 pound-feet of torque. You do have, of course, a 2-speed gearbox for it. So that makes the Porsche very unique. That 2-speed direct drive transmission. When it comes to performance, 0 to 60 in 2.1 seconds. And what's interesting is that with this Taycan, this isn't a 911, this is a Taycan, the most powerful Porsche ever. You're looking with the 2 electric motors, over 1,000 horsepower, 0 to 60 in 2.1 seconds. That is 1.3 seconds faster than the Taycan Turbo S that came out first back in 2019. So this is where we're going with the performance. Now, if you're wondering, well, what's the top speed? 190 miles an hour. Now, looking at the vehicle, especially going through the corkscrew, you're going to notice the refreshed front end. That's going to help cut down on drag. You're also going to notice a fixed, not a active, a fixed carbon fiber rear spoiler. That's going to help give us more downforce, which, remember, it's not just about adding more horsepower. You need all the components to work properly in unison to give you the ultra fast laps or have that exhilarating ultra fast driving experience when you're going through your favorite twisty bits. Now, what's fascinating is that top speed 190 miles an hour, and that's even with the rear wing. If you're comparing that to the Turbo S, which you can still get a Turbo S, and it's pretty darn fast, top speed 180 miles an hour. Now, what are some of the other things that are happening? How did they do this? So what they did was you have a new pulse inverter and semiconductor material on the electric motors. And what's interesting is that they now have what's called an attack mode. So that is where basically for 2 seconds, you get 160 horsepower shot of extra power. That's what brings it to the 1,092 horsepower. You're going to have Porsche active ride suspension, which has been totally recalibrated and fine-tuned for the Turbo GT and the Turbo GT Weissach with this new setup on the Taycan. You're also going to be looking at PCCB's standard. What the hell is that? That is the Porsche carbon ceramic brake rotors. Comes standard on this vehicle. And that's going to give you that maximum braking capability. Now, if you're wondering, well, what about this fast times? What do we do? What do we do here for time? So when they took it to the Nürburgring, the Nordschleife in Germany, they did a 7-minute, 7-second lap. For an EV, that is well, for any car, it's ultra fast. But especially for an EV sedan, an EV with 4 doors, that is the fastest time around the Nürburgring. Like you saw in the video here at Laguna Seca, they were able to beat their time of previous Porsches and other EVs. And then on top of that, when you're looking at all of the things that you get on the interior, so you're going to find things like your race text material. You're going to have the option for 2 seats or 4 seats. You're going to be able to get 18-way adjustable seats on the interior. And when it comes to aerodynamics, it's not just the wing. Even if you go Turbo GT, you're getting underbody aerodynamic efficiency pieces added to give you more downforce. And of course, if you go standard Turbo GT, if you could even call a Turbo GT standard, it actually comes with an active rear wing that actually will come up at speed. So interesting to see how Porsche is taking on the competition from, of course, Tesla with the Model S Plaid. You're also looking at brands like Lucid with the Lucid Sapphire. The one thing I could tell you, even though we have not driven this Porsche Taycan Turbo GT yet, is that I know from previous experience of driving a Taycan 4, a Taycan 4S, Taycan Turbo S. I've been very lucky to get behind the wheels of a lot of Taycans, especially like the GTS Sport Turismo and even the Taycan Cross Turismo. What I could tell you is that all of the DNA that makes a Porsche drive like a Porsche is in that vehicle. And that's what makes their EVs so much different than something you're getting from Tesla or something you're getting from Lucid or any other brand that's going to come out with a performance sedan electrified vehicle. But the fact that, like I said, they've looked at the brakes, they looked at the suspension, and they looked at those two motors, all-wheel drive, of course. A minute 27-second lap at Laguna Seca is freaking mind-blowing. And then I'm really digging the style. You're seeing a lot of touches from Porsche's IMSA GTP program and their hypercar program. That is what runs at the 24 Hours Le Mans, 24 Hours Daytona, 12 Hours of Sebring, and the IMSA Championship and all that. All of that style, all of that engineering and efficiency is being brought into this vehicle. Now, if you're looking for something that it's going to get you 500 miles, no, this is not the vehicle for that. This is to show when you push Porsche performance where you could go with it. And then remember, also Porsche does compete in the Formula E series, which is specifically single seat, open wheel, electrified vehicles, race cars. Now, if you're wondering, well, what about price? I hope you're sitting down. The Taycan Turbo GT starts at $230,000. So obviously getting up in that price point range as a 911 GT3, 911 GT3 RS, 911 ST. But with this, what you're getting, like I said, is the most powerful Porsche currently to date that's been available for production and for public use. And the fact that, as you can see here, sitting the special forged wheels. Look at that carbon fiber rear wing. I love the way they do the LED headlights. Those wheels are 21-inch wheels, lightweight wheels, fully ventilated cross-drill brake rotors, of course. All of your special Porsche dynamic lighting, especially when it comes to headlights and taillights and everything in between. So I'm just glad that I was able to get this information. Especially, we got to thank the people at Porsche for sending over this B-roll of Jörg Bergmeister behind the wheel driving it at the Porsche Performance Center in Atlanta and all the other action happening at Laguna Seca. Let me know what you think. Are you truly excited for this vehicle? Do you think, oh, it's just another EV, forget about it? Or do you really believe that this is the best of the best when it comes to a performance sedan? Even though technically you could get it as a two-seater. That's kind of crazy. Nobody else has done that. But let me know in the comment section. If you're new to the channel, you're on your way out, hit the subscribe button. I promise you it's worthwhile. Come back for more. If you are a subscriber, thank you for being part of the Raiders Rides family. Of course, we need to thank Lori and Oscar for setting up this studio here with the lighting. Oscar's got his special bone out. Lucy, who the heck is Lucy? Lori's drinking a cappuccino and relaxing while I'm making her laugh right now. So hopefully the cappuccino won't come out her nose while she's laughing. But Oscar's having a good time. So just like always, guys, I'll see you on the next ride.